Welcome to another Saturday morning nerd out. I am Graveyard. I am excited. We have such great stuff planned for you today. We have Loki season finale. We have a spoiler-free review of the Marvels. We have trailer reviews for Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire, and so much more planned. But without further ado, let's bring on the other guest that we have today. She is the puzzle queen herself, the one and only Mezzo.
Hi there.
Hello.
Good morning. I haven't had my coffee yet.
You haven't been caffeinated yet?
So I am usually more of a morning person than anything else. But my family's gone on a trip and I don't sleep well without my husband. And I took pain medication last night, and with the combination of taking that and not sleeping well, I slept till like an hour later than I normally do.
Oh.
But I knew I was going to be tired, so I set an alarm to wake up.
Nice. Well, I'm hoping you're ready to nerd out this morning.
I will always be ready to nerd out.
Sweet. And finally, for today's show, the queen of quantum entanglement, the one and only Fray.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for having me on. I never tell you thank you, and I always appreciate this. This is a highlight of my Saturday, so I appreciate it. I have caffeinated. So I'm sorry.
Caffeinated.
It's I'm going to be caffeinated. When I unplug my phone, it says to me, "Yay, I've been caffeinated." No, that's what it says when I plug it in. I'm being caffeinated. And then when I unplug it says, "Yay, thanks for the boost."
Nice.
That's awesome.
But for anyone who isn't currently caffeinated and needs to get caffeinated quickly, we have something just for you. That's right, Dubby. So whether you're just waking up for the Saturday morning nerd out, staying up late retro gaming with us in the cave, playing beer in the chair, or enjoying Lay's night on Thursday of this week, we have something just for you, Dubby. That's right, Dubby has no calories, no sugar, no artificial colors, no dyes. Each serving has 150 milligrams of caffeine, which is equivalent to 2 cups of coffee. And because it's derived from the fruit of the coffee bean, it contains nootropic, which gives you all the focus and energy with none of the jitters. So if you need to be caffeinated and want to help support the show, go to www.w.gg and use code KCP2023.
I have to say something. So I also need to let you guys know, allegedly, Dubby also makes you dubstep and dub smash better. Allegedly.
I don't think it's going to help this non-dancing Dutch guy. So.
Oh, you're Dutch.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're Dutch. Oh, you're Dutch.
Oh, you're Dutch.
All right. So who's ready to dive into this? Because maybe for the very last time, we have a special, speaker to you today. Let's hear from the one and only Miss Metz.
Hey, y'all, and welcome to the Special Projects Division of the TVA. You have been selected for this special project by our leader, and goodness gracious, he said such sweet things about you. The Game Master will give you all the details so you can keep the sacred timeline intact. Remember, we take the timeline seriously here at the TVA, and you are the most important part of this sacred mission throughout the multiverse. Take it away, Game Master.
Yes, that's right. It is time for the finale of What Ifs. Where in time is Loki?
Man, this one was a doozy, y'all. This one was a doozy. Again, Marvel. I mean, look, Secret Invasion. We're gonna give them a pass on that. Okay, we're just gonna give them a pass because they really took back the reins with this series. I was not okay after this. I was not okay. So let me get with the Miss Minute. I really didn't want to do a top 10 on this or a 10 thing because I feel like it was gonna I don't know, lessen it, cheapen it. I don't know. Anyway, but I did because what we've been doing. All right. So number 1, we start where we left off. Number 2, Loki learned science. Number 3, did we stumble into Groundhog Day? Number 4, what is the loom really for? Number 5, Loki asked for advice. Number 6, we see an old frenemy. Number 7, Loki faces an impossible choice. Number 8, it's all been leading to this. Number 9, aftermath. And 10, the burden of glorious purpose.
Yes.
So, being that you have seen it, happy Saturday, Chuck / husband. So, being that it was the end, and I feel like this is the end of the series. I don't think they're going to do a season 3. The way they left it, that was a complete story to me. Now, we may see a Loki again. I don't know if it'll be this Loki, though. Just the way it ends. And, like, for the people that have seen it, and you did see it, right, Grave?
Oh, yeah.
So, those 10 things, do you think that that's good without spoiling anything? I should have probably asked you this before we went on air. But,
Again.
I know we say spoilers, but...
Again.
Again. Yeah, I mean, there is so much that goes on, and I'm just like, I can't. I don't want to spoil anything. Now, husband and I watched it, and I don't have the envelope because I did open it because he gave me the envelope, open after the thing. And it had one word on it, and that word was Thor. And he gave it to me before they went to the World's Fair, so... so I was like, no, but you did. I mean, Thor was in it. Granted, he was a carving, but he was in it, So, I mean, he got, there was Thor. And there were a lot of references to Thor in it, too. So I was just like, yeah. But I just thought it was funny that was his whole prediction was just one word, all in caps, Thor, on a Post-it stuck to the envelope. So I'm sorry if that was a little letdown for all of you who were waiting for that envelope to open, but that's what it was. All right. So we do have a winner because somebody had Loki's number in this. I don't know what was going on. I think you might be the god of time now and not him.
Maybe.
But yeah, you got the prediction this week. And then your overall prediction, get back up there because it's been 6 weeks since we did this. Yeah, your overall prediction was Loki will be integrated into the main MCU and that Mojo is coming. I loved the Mojo, but you got the Soul Stone points because he is integrated. Now, we didn't really think about, how he was going to be integrated. So you were vague enough that you got the point. So you did get the points. I said Victor Timely joins forces with Loki, Sylvie, and Mobius to take down the new ruler. And then Mobius is a Balder variant. I'm still sticking with that. I don't care what it says. I think he's going to be back. I think we're going to find out that he's if he's not Balder, he's an Asgardian. In some variant, he's an Asgardian. I just feel like that's it. He just knows too much about Loki. I'm sorry. It's just too much. OB is the scientist, and he who remains wiped his mind. So we don't know any of that. We don't really know, but I mean, we saw the OB that we know as somebody on a branch timeline. So I think that's probably not right. So I didn't give myself that one, but I did give myself the 100 Soul Stone because he did. He joined forces with them and was trying to stop the TVA from being. So Mezzo, you had the TVA infrastructure crumbles and Mobius ends up taking over in the end. Loki kills the judge. Judge Doc's in self-defense. He goes his separate ways with Mobius's friends, and he is a changed person. So you haven't seen the ending. Some of the stuff that you did actually is pretty accurate. Not everything, but some of it. So I split the difference and gave you 50 Soul Stone because you were really close. There was if you had erased a couple of words here and
I was holding
That
back
really would
just to
be it,
let
yeah.
someone else win. Not true.
You know what? Graveyard needed this. He needed it.
Yeah, you did well, Graveyard.
So Aubrey or Captain Lady Moon, I gave her the 100 soul stones because she said multiple Kangs, and we find out more about Loki's past. And I was like, yeah, there were multiple Kangs in this. Like, again, something, these are some things that people that haven't seen it will not know, but but there are multiple Kangs in it. Shadu said that we encounter another Reed Richards variant in this season. I really wish that had been. I honestly loved that he was like, OB is a Reed Richards variant. I would have freaking loved that. And if it comes out later, I will give him the biggest hug and probably buy him something. Just because I love it that much. Granted, he's my child, so that's easy to do. But yeah, so I gave him 5 gauntlet planners for that because I just really the way his brain works and the way he comes up with predictions, I just find amazing. I find that amazing of all of you, but I just felt like he needed something for that. Young Phil, he actually got the 100 Soulstone paperweights as well because he said that Loki and Mobius travel back in time, meet Victor Timely and Ravonna Renslayer. So he got that part right. Now, he went on to say that the Renslayer of this time is Victor Timely's King's girlfriend, like she's in the comics. They never really said girlfriend or anything. You could definitely see the sparks were there, but they never said girlfriend. She was his partner, though. Mm-hmm. And we found that out not this episode, but last episode. So I thought that was enough to give him the 100 points for that. Although he doesn't deserve them because he stopped giving me weekly things, but that's okay. Not being petty this week. All right. And Jamez, he got 100 Soulstone paperweights because he says we find out Loki is the god of time and he ends up running the TVA. Kind of does. So I was like, yeah, it's good. So yeah, so like I feel like everybody did so well on this. I am so proud of everyone. Everyone got points. Everyone got at least something right. And I just feel like that's the way these prediction games should be. Mm-hmm. So congratulations, Graveyard, on that. The point totals will be on the Discord if you guys want to see the point totals. But Graveyard, I mean, he was like at least 100 points ahead of everybody. Like that's... Well,
it's not fair because, I learned to go into the past and change things.
I knew I should have asked for that instead of immortality, but whatever. But yeah, so that's it. Thank you, everyone. I really, really enjoyed playing this. We are going to take a little time off. Echo is coming out, but it's going to be all one. Like you can binge it if you want. So I don't know what kind of game we would do for that unless we just want to make one prediction. I know it's going to be the spotlight, so it's really not going to have a lot of impact for canon as far as the MCU goes. I'm happy to talk about it. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to do a game there. So expect that we probably won't do another game at least until 2024. So
what we can do is just do a one giant prediction. Like we can maybe how many episodes are there?
I don't know, actually. I think there's 6, but that's usually what they do is about 6. But I know WandaVision was 9 or 8 or 9. So it could be up to 10. Mezzo's looking it up. 5 episodes? Aww.
Why don't we do something instead of the we can do the game, but we just do 5 predictions and 1 overall before it starts.
Oh, we could do that.
Instead of a weekly thing.
Yeah, I was thinking we could do that we could do a one for What If, because What If is coming. I think they said Christmas or like late December.
Maybe.
It's supposed to come out before 2024.
Yeah.
I thought. So we'll figure it out and let's talk about this some other time. I don't think anybody that's watching this really is interested in what we're going to do next until we announce it. So
yeah, so let us know in the comments below if you want to see the game and if you like this game and what other shows maybe you'd want us to do at some point as well. It doesn't have to be just to be Marvel and DC and Star Wars, there's a whole bunch of other shows that are coming out that we can also do this for.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm happy to make it. I'm happy for other people to they want to do it too. But yeah, you don't have to listen to me do these games all the time. But yeah, so I'm really proud of everybody. I just wanted to say that. Proud.
Sweet. Thank you,
So proud.
Thank you, Game Master, for that. This was an interesting thing, to say the least. Without spoiling too much, I have predictions of what the ending actually means and when it'll come to fruition. My guess is King Dynasty.
Yeah, I think we'll see something. We've got to have the people that know the most about Kang to be there. So I expect the TVA, at least the TVA will be there. I don't know if we'll see that Loki just because of what his glorious purpose is, but I do think we'll see. Yeah, I do think we'll see a Loki, maybe more, but I also think we'll see TVA members, and I think we're going to see a Ravonna Renslayer.
So here's the quick question for you: which one is our Loki? Do you consider the Loki TV show our Loki, or do you consider the one that died at the hand of Thanos our Loki?
Yes.
Both.
Yeah, I do. Well, the reason I say that he's our Loki is because he did come from our timeline, but just because he picked up the Tesseract that was literally pushed in front of him. I mean, dude has impulse control. We know this. Yeah. So, especially back then. So I think we could consider him our Loki. I think the way they introduced him as a variant was probably the best way to introduce him, so that we already had that kind of connection with him because of the Thor movies and Avengers and all that. So I think that was it. And then they showed him everything that happened after. So technically, I guess he's kind of ours still. But yeah, I consider him ours. Okay. Pretty much any Loki that comes up on screen, I consider ours, just to be honest. Even the What If one, that was the big blue frost giant. He's our Loki. It's just our Loki. So yeah, I thought it was great. And you know what? I was thinking about not Miss Marvel. That's a different section. Different segment. How they did Wanda and how they did Loki. And I'm really mad about it. I'm really mad about it. I am really upset about it because they gave Loki an amazing end. And I thought, and a satisfying finale and end. And it was a great story, like our overarching story, and how he changed as a person, and just that kind of stuff. And then what they were doing with WandaVision, I was like, oh, they're doing the same thing. She's learning, she's growing. This is going to be great. And then they totally effed it up with the movie, because I don't think she would have gone that dark that quick. Now she might have. I guess you could say addictive personality. That's me rationalizing, but I just found it really interesting that they went, okay, she's got all this power, so she's going to go bad. And now it's like, oh, now Loki has all this power. We're going to make him a literal, like, pillar of the multiverse. And it's like, I just keep thinking, how is that fair? How is that fair? This woman just wanted her kids back. And being the mom that I am, I completely understand that. And I would go through every single universe to find my child again. And I would do anything to do that. So I get where she's coming from. And I think that, and then the whole book coming out and saying, oh yeah, she got smashed by that. I'm like, no, Scarlet Witch doesn't go out like a little bitch. And I'm sorry I said that. I know it's a family show, but that's the way I feel about it. And I'm going to be done now. Because I'm going to get really wound up, and I don't want to.
All right. Well, speaking of things that you aren't afraid of, are you afraid of no ghosts? All right.
This was really cute. I loved this trailer. It was really cute.
So, what are your thoughts on this, Fray?
I thought it was really cute and I loved it. That was really I think it's a good sequel to the Afterlife. I think that's great. And I like that they're not going, okay, this is Ghostbusters 2, Frozen Empire. Like they're just saying Ghostbusters and this is this story. I feel like if you're hey Mezzo. I feel like if you're like redoing an IP or you're telling other stories in it, instead of saying, well, this is Ghostbusters 3, this is Ghostbusters 4, this is, whatever, just saying Ghostbusters and this is the tale we're telling. This is the story we're telling. I like that better because to me, it seems like if you want to just watch this one, you can just you could watch Afterlife and this one and you'd get enough of the story before, like through Afterlife, to understand it. Also, Carrie Coon is in it, and she is awesome. I'm loving Gilded Age right now, and she was the voice of Proxima Midnight for Avengers and Infinity War and Endgame. She's great, and them all of them in the uniforms, and at the end where Paul Rudd goes, ha 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 ha. I was like, oh, this is going to be so fantastic. I just love it. So yeah, I really like the Afterlife though too. I thought they did a really good job on that. So.
All right, Mezzo.
It's kind of funny because Wednesday night when my husband and I watched it, he had thrown it on without saying he was throwing on something. And I didn't know that's what it was because of the time I looked at the TV, the title thing had gone away.
Yeah.
And so when I saw all the ice coming in and you hear me go, Elsa? And then you're, I was like, oh, it's Ghostbusters. You hear oh gosh, what's it called?
Ecto 1.
Thank you. You hear Ecto 1's siren going. And so I was like, oh, and it looks like fun. I feel like, so they had the Ghostbusters with all the ladies years ago.
We don't talk about that.
And that one is the movie that shall not be named in a sense when it comes to the Ghostbusters universe. It was
I loved it. I thought it was good.
Well, when it comes to the Ghostbusters universe, it doesn't have any connection to any of the story.
Yeah, no, it's like the animated series.
Yeah, so that when that came out, for those who have the wonderful feeling from the original Ghostbusters, it felt lackluster in that sense. There was no meaning to it for them. So when Afterlife came out and then you see the trailer for this one, you feel like, okay, it's got its mojo back in the sense that it's pulled its fans back. Especially with the first of these, the sequels of these ones, was a touching story. Have you do with one of the original Ghostbusters that passed away. So I thought that was, I think they did that really well too. Anyway, so I'm excited for it.
Nice.
That's my sleepy notes.
I'm gonna be polarizing here. All right.
Polarizing. Because Frozen Empire.
Yes.
There you go.
So, obviously, love Ghostbusters. I had the proton pack. I dressed up as a Ghostbuster as a kid. Had all the firehouses and all this stuff, right? My issue with Afterlife and Frozen Empire is they made it YA. It's young adult. I don't need to see teenager Ghostbusters because as a kid, I had no problem being 5 years old and dressing up as a 40-year-old man as a Ghostbuster.
Look, we don't kink shame here. So,
but what I mean? There was never, even as a kid growing up with the cartoon, that started in 89, and I was 5 years old. I never felt the need to have a kid Ghostbuster to appreciate the movie. And that's what I thought was great about Ghostbusters is the age didn't matter of the viewer. You were able to put yourself and pretend to be a Ghostbuster. I don't feel like we needed to have kids as Ghostbusters. That's my opinion because, we had that with Extreme Ghostbusters. They were college kids, and that was iffy enough because that only lasted a season.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. So it could be a franchise and it could just be whoever, but it doesn't need to be kids because it was the adults and it was the physicists that were able to create these things, especially Egon and Ray, that having a kid be able to also carry the 40-pound protonic nuclear accelerator on their back, to me is a bit much. I love Ghostbusters. I am excited for this. And I'm excited for a new villain, potentially, not a rehashing of, Gozer again.
Yeah, that's true.
That was so strange to see Olivia Wilde, I was like, wait,
I was like, that's not Olivia. Is that Olivia Wilde? Is that? I was
she looked like an 80s rock star at her concert.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I am excited, but what I think made the Ghostbusters 84, 89 so good is the fact that they had comedians that were well versed in their field and were able to ad lib a lot of this stuff. And that's realistically what I thought 2016 did wrong, is because you had these great comedians in there, but you had Paul Feig write comedy for comedians, and that didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So while Paul Rudd may be able to do all this ad lib stuff, I don't think the other actors in this are versed enough in improv and stand-up comedians to do the lightheartedness and the jokiness that made the improv so good in Ghostbusters.
What about Dan Aykroyd? He's in this film a lot.
He is. But I'm saying, having someone else write for it.
Proxy doesn't want to talk about Dan Aykroyd, she doesn't listen.
So,
she's having a fit.
So like I said, I am excited for it. I'm definitely going to see it, but like I said, I don't need the YA version.
Shadoo's here.
Shadoo's here.
Hi, Shadoo.
Well, no, he hasn't. He's in the garage and he hasn't. And that's why the dogs are barking.
I agree with that because, in the sense, you got all of the Ghostbusters fans that are our age and a little older, and then you're watching kids, and who wants to remember the angstiness of youth while trying to have the nostalgic remembrance of this movie? But I mean, I'll deal with it in a sense, but it just doesn't make them relatable. Hi, Shadoo. Tell him I sent him something through for you to give to him to watch. I sent your mom something for you to watch. Hi. It's Minecraft related and you're gonna love it, I'm sure of it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Let's move on. Sorry. Graveyard.
Oh no, I was done. So I'm excited for this, but like I said, I don't need YA injected into everything.
Okay.
Anyway,
that's
all right, have fun, guys.
He just wanted to say hi. He's dropping his stuff off, and then you know how these 20-somethings are.
Sure. All right. Anything else to say on this? Like I said, I think we should try to do a viewing party of this when it comes out in digital.
We should. Yeah, that might be fun. I think that would be a really good idea. Just some weird. We'll do some specials. Let's do some specials.
And I just want Ecto Cooler to come back.
No, that's a variant thing. That's at the TVA now.
That is the only reason why I enjoyed the 2016 Ghostbusters is because Ecto Cooler came back.
Ecto Cooler was good. I may have
bought 10 cases of it when it came out.
So the way I did want to say just one thing real quick, and then definitely we should move on. But I do understand where you're coming from. Some people that did watch it, it might have been their first date. And so me, seeing kids do it, I think that's the thing that they haven't done yet. And I really think that in the 80s, it was protect the kids. Kids need to be protected. Kids can't do anything for themselves. And the stuff that was really popular was when adults were either pretending to be kids or kids bucked the system and did their own thing, like Cloak and Dagger, which is a favorite of mine. But so I think this, and especially it being Egon's grandkids, I think is a nice touch. I think it's going to be a mix of kids and adults, and I think that was a natural progression to this because kids are doing things on their own now. Like, kids have YouTube channels. Some 13-year-olds make more money than their parents on YouTube. So it's like it's a different generation and a different generational aspect to kids now, and they're having to grow up a lot quicker than they used to. And so I see it being that. Do I think it's completely right? No, I think they should be protected. But who protects the kids when the adults can't protect them? They have to protect themselves. So I see it as a new way to bring YA fans into the Ghostbusters franchise and then have them go and watch the old stuff and love it just as much as all of us did when we were young. But I also see it as being the next progressive thing that universe would do. That universe, they've seen ghosts a lot. These kids, this isn't, and this is a new generation. They don't really know anything about it. That's what the first one was about. It was like, what is this? What? No. Oh, he is a crazy old man. That kind of thing. And so I see it in that form of it, being the next thing. Instead of doing a reboot where we just see all of the characters get new faces, I liked that they let time pass and let his grandkids find the stuff out. And so it wasn't we've got new Ghostbusters now. Oh, we'll have a couple of the old guys in there to mentor them, and then they'll be the new one. I don't think that works anymore. I think having time pass and the next generation taking up the mantle is the way to do reboots now. And that will lead into, not necessarily, but there is something about the Marvels that also touches on that. And I'm not going to talk about it. But anyway,
Well,
sorry,
I mean,
I'm MCU drenched right now. I apologize. That's where my brain is.
Speaking of marvelous things and young people,
The Marvel.
The Marvel spoiler-free review. So don't worry.
Yes. And this spoiler-free review is titled "Family is spelled Marvels." The Marvels. All right,
thank
so.
I'm sitting here spelling it in my head like, it doesn't spell family. Now that I realize you just spelled the title.
Well, I got it from one of my favorite things in The Stand is when it says MOON, that spells moon. And so every time something like that, I think, family is spelled, that. Anyway, whatever. Let's move on. All right. So on November 9th, everything changed for me. Okay, maybe I'm being a little overly dramatic, but the MCU has changed with this film. I cannot say much without ruining the whole film, so I will keep this brief. I thought about doing a top 5 moments of each member of the Marvels, but again, it seems like it does a disservice to them, so I did go ahead and just do a brief summary and then a couple fun little things. The overall agenda for each character is different in this movie. We open with an entanglement and a brief recap of each Marvel. Then the Marvel hijinks ensue with the fate of the universe at stake. So basically, it's any day ending in Y in the Marvel universe. So Nick Fury enters the scene on Saber. That's where we see him again, which looks pretty cool and has a lot of other species on it. So we see an orange person. I think there's a couple Skrulls in there. I think we get an Asgardian. They don't really say where they're from. It's just a whole bunch of people on this that all are kind of humanoid. I didn't really see a lot of non-humanoid. And so it was really neat. That was a neat touch to it. So you definitely see that this is an intergalactic station and not necessarily just human or governments of the world kind of thing. We didn't see Vara, Fury's wife, in the film, which I think would have been nice to see. kind of tie it in a little, because she
Right.
did leave with him at the end of Secret Invasion. Kamala's family is in it, and they are still adorable. They're freaking adorable. And Saber owes them a new house, like a complete new house after this film. Because actions and galactic battles have consequences. So make sure you get Galactus insurance. We protect you from anything. Really. That's not really a sponsor. I just made that up. After a fun little fight in the con house and some awkwardness from the captains, we get all three heroes together. We get the full name of Saber, so they explain what it is, and an explanation of what's going on with the switcheroos. The main villain of the movie is Dar-Benn, and we don't get much like personal backstory on her, but she has her real big rage on for Captain Marvel, aka Redacted. Her agenda has two purposes, and I did feel a tinge of empathy for her and Redacted. We explore more of the galaxy with the Marvels as they get a handle on their powers, entangling, and how to use them as an advantage. It all comes down to the bangles. Like, it's always about accessories, everyone. Yep, they're a pair. And Dar-Benn has that matching one to Kamala's Nana's bangle. There's a great scene of singing, and it will explain why Carol is wearing a disguise and sets up a couple of pretty good jokes for Monica later. We also find out why Carol wasn't there for Monica when her mom died, and also some of what happened during the blip, like what happened with Carol and Maria during the blip. And that was really interesting. I thought it was cool. Goose is so flirkin' in this, and I was just informed by the Marvel execs that I can't tell you any more about the plot because I will be disappeared. I think that means I have to start working on one of the Disney cruises, and no one wants to see that. So I'm going to wrap this up. So the fun little references. There was a reference to Monica Rambeau's comic book stint as Captain Marvel. There's a scene where she gets like her new uniform, and it's a direct reference to her original costume in the comics. So that's kind of cool. Nick Fury's back to his quippy one-liners, and there's a pre-credit tag, a mid-credit scene, and an audio-only post-credit scene. So definitely stay until the end. Let's see what else. All the heroes have new uniforms. Carol's is a little basic. Like, it's a little basic. The other two are really cool, but hers is like, I mean, I liked it, and I really liked her one from the beginning of the movie. But, I mean, it's not a bad uniform. It's basic. Kamala and Carol try to find a code name for Monica, and it's a great scene between all of them. And then Monica starts to loosen up on the adventure, and it's just a fun thing to see. So, right, this is so basic. Yeah, basic. I absolutely recommend this film, and I definitely think anyone who loves female-led films with pluck should go see this. It's I was thinking about it, of the movies that I've seen in the theaters this year, it's my second favorite behind Barbie. It goes Barbie, the Marvels, Guardians of the Galaxy. And I didn't think anything would top Guardians of the Galaxy except Barbie, because I have a deep connection with Barbie and all of Barbie things. So yeah, so that's really my review. I hope you guys liked it. Sorry, the Marvel execs wouldn't let me tell you anymore. They're real weird about that.
Sounds like a bunch of ones and zeros to me.
Ones and zeros. There you go. It wasn't. The weird thing was it wasn't Kevin. It was someone new. I think they've got somebody. Maybe it was Deadpool. I don't know.
There you go.
And definitely the post-credit scene, the tag and the mid-credit scene are really phenomenal. They're really good. Really good. So
thank you for the spoiler-free review. We'll have a spoiler-filled review as this comes out probably in a week or two, and more people get to see it, so that we can do a full-on discussion of it.
I can't wait because I really want you guys to see it so I can talk about it. I was like, as soon as the movie ended, I turned to husband and went, man, there's so much went on in this, and I can't say a word to anyone.
I am
so
actually, so my husband comes home on Monday, and Tuesday is my birthday, and I'm thinking that maybe we can't do it Tuesday night, unfortunately, or Wednesday, but I'm hoping that like Thursday night we'll have dinner with the boys, and then they can be alone, maybe. Oh no, mother-in-law will be home by then, actually, so we could maybe go out that night if we really want to. Otherwise, we'll have to wait until Saturday next week.
You know, it's
I think it's a struggle. No,
it's good. It's a good movie. I hear that the opening night wasn't great for them. It was like the second lowest, but I don't know. Some of the stuff I'm hearing on there of reviews and things, I didn't see what they saw. The plot was pretty simplistic, I will say, but I don't think it needed to be more than it was because of all like the plot itself was like it's an A, B, C plot. Like you go through that. But all the stuff that is in between A to B to B to C needed to be done. And I really enjoyed the way that they made them an unofficial team kind of thing and the way that they all interacted with each other.
The accidental team.
Yeah, it wove in some really good stuff, and I really wish I could tell you all about it, but if I tell you even a little bit about some of that, it is going to ruin so much for the movie, and I don't want to do that. So, but it is really good. I really liked it. From what I am understanding is that women tend to like it more than men, and for different reasons. Like people that I know for a fact are not like men mongers or like, I don't like female, like people I trust have said, it wasn't for me, but not all movies are going to be for me. So I don't think it's for everyone, but if you liked Captain Marvel, if you liked Miss Marvel, and if you liked WandaVision, you definitely should see the movie. If you haven't seen those and you want to watch it, you can. They do give a recap in the beginning, and it's actually a pretty fun recap. It's all in their own different voices. Like Kamala's stuff is in her voice, and Monica's stuff is in her. Like it's all from their points of view, and it's really interesting. So it is a chaotic movie. I don't think it's too chaotic, and
that's why the story was so simplistic in comparison because it
was
chaotic in general.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that you find out that's like questions that we had about Captain Marvel, like why hasn't she been on Earth? Like why is she so far away all the time? You find out why, and she does have an arc. They all have arcs in this, and it's some of it's surprising, some of it's not. But I'm done. Mute me. I'm muting myself. I'm not.
All right. Well, thank you for that teaser for things that happen in space. And speaking of teasers for things in space, so what do you think of the teaser trailer? I know, Fray, you played Mass Effect, right? You're a big Mass Effect fan. What do you think is going to happen in this game? Give us a quick prediction.
It's delayed. I'm hoping more of the same. I really want to see I want to get the band back together. Let's get the band back together. So I'm happy about that. I think it's going to be good. I hope they get all of the original voice actors. I think they did. I know they were talking about it, but I really, really, it's going to be fun. I'm excited. I'll get it. I'll play it. I'll love it. I'll play it again. I'll love it. I'll play it again. I'll love it. I'll play it a fourth time, but not finish quite because I will get distracted by something else, but I'll still love it.
Sweet. Matzo, have you played any of them? Do you have any?
I have never played Mass Effect. I have no idea what it's actually about. There's, especially when you're an adult with kids, and they're younger and stuff, there's things you miss and you fall behind and feel like you just can't catch up. So it's also just not my type of game. Like I'm more puzzle, as you know. And so action stuff, I just don't really super get into. So it looks fun, sure, but I'm kind of indifferent, I guess.
That's fair. That's
fair.
Just because I've never played it, so I don't really know anything about it. So I can't really say.
It's like it's classic RPG in space. It really is. To me, that's what it is. It's a lot of strategy, and like your choices impact how others feel about you in the game. And I like that part of it.
Okay.
It's strategy wise, but basically it's an otherworldly threat or an ancient threat that has come back to the universe that we know, and it's in what 2500. I don't even know. It's like it's far in the future, um you learn about another ancient race that was trying to fight them but got killed because of it. And so it's like this huge long lore like story, and at the end of the first game you think you've killed the thing, and then in the second game something else happens. You die. I think I can spoil this because I mean that game's been out for a long time. You die, and then you then you get revived by a human centric company called Cerberus, and that's pretty awesome. And you get a new ship, but it's kind of like your old ship, and it's amazing. The ship, I think they spent so much time on Normandy, and I just love that ship. It's like I like the Firefly ship, Serenity. I like the Normandy. I like the Battlestar Galactica ship. And I like the Next Generation Enterprise. Like, so there are certain ships I like, but that one, I love that one. I love the design of it. It's so sleek. It's like Iron Man would have designed this as a ship. I just feel like that. Anyway, so you have to go and you find out, no, they're still coming. And then you have to like take care of these people, like, or they're not really people. They're kind of like sentient AIs. And then are they? Graveyard, help me out here.
I haven't played Mass Effect since the first one, so I don't remember.
Okay, well they're like the Proteans are the ones that were the good guys, and then Sovereign was the ship, the sentient ship that that Shepard had to take care of in the first one. In the second one, you find out there's the Geth, which they're sentient AIs, and then there's more of these Sovereign type ships. And I can't remember what they're called. Somebody in the comments let me know, because I can't remember and I'm not looking it up. And then you find out about that, and you have to make a decision at the end there. And then the third one, you basically have to stop the invasion of all of these like super powered, like really can almost like Galactus level threats, but there are hundreds of thousands of them. There are like tons of them. And then the fourth one, you go to a different galaxy, and they kind of didn't finish the game. It is beautiful, but they didn't finish it. We all know they didn't finish it. I'm still a little mad about that. So this Mass Effect 5 better be a return to form, and it should be beautiful, like 4, and finished, like all the rest of them. And I expect DLCs, lots of them.
Sweet.
Do you see me, Mass Effect people? Lots of DLCs. All right.
DLC.
Yeah. So that's basically it. It's a galactic war. Everything's on the line. You're the chosen one that needs to do it. You can be a female or a male. You get to like customize everything. By the third game, I think you can decide, how big your boobs are. I don't know. Anyway, I don't think you can. That's not a thing, guys. Don't try it. Please don't try it. I do not want to see
You
those.
can in Sims.
Yeah, you can. But yeah, so yeah. But yeah, so it's really cool. You can change your outfit like all the time. I did that like for every mission. I had a different color outfit. Yeah, and you get to have sex.
Yay! So, all right, let's move on to the horror section. We have Leave the World Behind. So my quick thought: this is by the creators of Mr. Robot. It is seemingly more of a sci-fi thriller. The teaser doesn't give a whole bunch away, which I like because it's very, very intriguing. It has some, horror movie icons definitely in it, because we have Ethan Hawke, we have Kevin Bacon, we have Julia Roberts, who, kind of is Flatliners, and that was horror-esque in a way. So I'm excited. Mashallah Ali was in it, and he's done some, horror things, and he's indeed Blade if that ever comes out. So, yeah, I'm excited for this. I can't wait to see it. Will there be more horror than sci-fi? Probably not. But, it looks very intriguing, with people essentially being trapped in a Airbnb together, and the world is seemingly ending from a potential cyber attack, and then they have to maybe band together to survive in maybe a Stephen King stand-ish scenario. So if you haven't seen the trailer is in the descriptions below. Let's check that out. Metzel, did you watch the trailer?
I did.
What'd you think?
About 30 minutes before our show. I try to watch the things twice if I can get my time to do it. So I watched it, and it felt very like, I love all the actors that are in it.
Mm-hmm.
They're all very good. I love Mahershala Ali. Ever since 4400.
Yes.
Right?
But
I was going to mention 4400, so I'm glad
that's
you
the first
did.
thing I saw him in, and ever since then, I'm just like, I like this actor. He's got such a great presence. And because of that presence he brings, and his voice on the trailer, and the musical choice of like this steady, like suspenseful type of music.
Mm-hmm.
The LCD sound system is in the beginning. That's the song. That's actually one of my favorite songs, mine and Husby's favorite songs.
So watching it, I felt that like that suspense was tangible. So it made me excited for it. It felt like sorry, M. Night, what The Happening should have been when it comes to like, because The Happening never felt suspenseful. It just felt kind of like boring and disturbing at the same time. Like, it wasn't really, it felt very, since The Happening isn't like alien related or like attack related, it was something to do with the plants and this, and as a viewer, you're like, you want to understand what's happening eventually, and that never really happens. And in this one, it feels like there's going to be more of an explanation, and in the trailer, seeing cyber attack and stuff like that, you felt like, oh, that feels even scarier because it's relatable. It's like when I watch Nuke's Top 5 and he has all these scary ghost videos and stuff like that. But what I agree with him the most is like, what's actually scarier than ghosts are people. It's like you go to an abandoned place and it's supposed to be haunted, but there's actually a person there. That is far scarier.
Yes.
So when this is at that similar feeling where it feels far scarier because it feels almost like it's something that could happen. At least from what you see in the trailers. And so I got excited to see Julia Roberts too, because I haven't seen much of her lately, but also, there's SAG after stuff happening and COVID happening. So I just got really excited to see her in something, and especially something that's not a romantic comedy, because I like to see that progression. So.
Fray, I know you watched this right before the show. What?
Yes, I didn't actually get to finish it. Like, it was that close to us being, well, Mama got broken yesterday, so she had to do all of her Saturday morning stuff Saturday morning. So, I did watch it, and I'm really interested in it. Like, I love it. This is the type of, like, I guess, horror light, I guess we'll call it, horror light movie that I love. I love the psychological horror ones. I love it when people are the monsters. To me, that is far, like as Mezzo said, that is far scarier than than having some ghost go, ooh, it's like, all right, oh, you're a ghost, woo, scary. But when people do it, you're like, oh shoot, you're a person. I'm gonna punch you in the face. No, and I thought it was really neat. I love Kevin Bacon when he's a villain.
Mm-hmm.
I love him as a villain. He is because he looks so such a chill, cool guy. And so to have him be, and especially like, it seems like with the hat and everything, I was getting the river vibes, like when he was up against like Meryl Streep, and I was like, oh, You know, it's
River
like, oh my
Wild.
God. River Wild, that's right. River Wild.
I've
I'm
never
sorry,
seen it.
he like just for him being the villain, it's amazing. And Meryl Streep is Meryl Streep, and she's Meryl Streep. You know she's gonna be fantastic. But it's really good. It's a good movie. And yeah, so I was like, man, this looks good. And Ethan Hawke, and I'm used to Ethan Hawke being the villain, so him not being the villain was also awesome. And then so we're like watching it, you know, and husband's like, that's LCD sound system. Whoa. And he starts watching it. And I'm like, yeah, hush. You know, like, I don't know watch this. And yeah, so then they come and it's like, oh, they're all having fun. And oh, this looks great. And oh, but like the sound, like you can tell that like underlying, like something's going to happen kind of thing. It's that kind of like, you know, everybody should be on edge, you know, kind of thing. And then, and the way the trailer did it, they really ratcheted up the suspense with each, like, you know, and it was great. It was really like boom, 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 boom. And then you see, I can't say his name, Mahershala Ali, who I do love. Him and his wife. I didn't recognize the actress. I'm sure if I'd really been paying
I'd have
attention,
to
I would
look
have
again.
noticed. Yeah.
Her name looks like she's like a singer. So
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then
it's just like a
them
single
being
name.
there, yeah, them being there, and then you know, and she's like, you know, they're like, what do we do? Like, this is our house, but why are you guys here? And then they have to stay there, and then it's like, so then you get that, okay, are they going to kill each other? You know, because you had that kind of, by that time you're like, what's going on? And then you see Kevin Bacon come in, and it's like, what's going on here? I don't know what's going on. So I'm really interested in it. And I don't know who the kids are. I don't really care about them. I hope they make it out alive. But I really am loving the Ethan Hawke, Julia Roberts dynamic. And then you put in the second couple, and then I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And you've got like the boys looking at the Mahershala Ali's wife's little bikini in there, and and I'm like, oh, this is gonna explode. This is a tinderbox already. And then the whole like, you know, it's like, oh goodness, you guys gotta stay. And then there's like the sound, and I don't know what that is, and that reminded me kind of like War of the Worlds type thing, or like that kind of like where, you know, they're trying to incapacitate people so that they can take over and that kind of thing. So it's got so many different aspects of all these other different psychological movies with the horror that I don't know where it's going to go. And that to me is the best kind of horror or the best kind of like thriller type thing is if you don't know where it's going to go from moment to moment, it's hard to figure out. This girl's going to watch it.
Sweet.
Her name is Myha'la Herald.
Oh, okay.
She had a regularly recurring character on a TV show called Industry for a time.
On HBO. Yeah.
Yeah, she appeared on an episode of Black Mirror and has been in little things, but this is probably the biggest thing that she's been in.
Good for her. Yay! Give new actors a chance.
There you go. All right. Well, it's time. I had to rack my brain over what I was going to discuss for today. I'm like, oh man, Dresden Files. Oh crap, Metzel already did that.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh no.
So this is kind of going in along the lines with some announcements that Best Buy made this year and for the trend that we are seeing in the video game world of physical media dying out. You know, we discussed this on lots of other shows. We discussed this, we even discussed this on Kyber Cave After Dark of the digital versus physical media at some point in time. But all this led to me think, as you know, I have a Retro Alcove here in my office, right? And I know. And so the topic is going to be the preservation of video games and video game systems. Because with this trend happening, we are seeing more and more stuff happening to classic video game consoles. And, you know, with the Retro Alcove, we try to be purists and we play on the original system with original hardware and everything like that. And anyone who follows me on, you guys see me post on the gaming chat and other chat of stuff I am currently doing to my older video game systems to help preserve them. So as these systems are getting older, you have CD drives, especially CD drives that wear out faster and faster, and it's getting harder and harder to find these devices and these pieces to make your old systems continue to work. So like I said, as physical media is going away, how do we preserve this, and how do we preserve future systems that we currently have in this generation from having the same issue, as the physical media is going to be dead at some point in time? So being a purist of the video game systems, I was working on my Sega Saturn recently, and I was upgrading it to get rid of the CD-ROM that was in there for an SD card reader in the original hardware.
Oh, wow.
So, and this is a way just to not destroy the original system. You just take it out and you just have a couple switches that you change, so it still preserves it, so you can always put it back in there in the future if you want to use it again. So what I am doing, in what a lot of community is doing too, is they are realizing this physical media is dying out, and they're making the ability to do SD card readers. Yes, is it emulation? Is it ROMs? It is, but this is still a way of preserving 30-plus-year-old video game systems in there. And it's interesting to do that because, like I said, you are keeping the system alive. Is it the same thing? No. But do you have faster load times from CDs? Absolutely, because these were 1x speed CD-ROMs that were in these older systems. So that's what I'm currently doing, and working on every system I have to help preserve my system and keep it going perpetually forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I am doing non-destructive work to these systems, especially systems I have duplicates of. So I still have the OG system with everything, original components in it. But for like my Sega Saturn, while trying to fix it, I broke the power supply board inside the system and sliced my finger open on it. So I'm hoping my tetanus shot's up to date.
I literally just got my tetanus shot last night.
But someone makes a replacement board that uses a more regular power converter too. So I replaced that as well. So there's a new power supply and an SD card reader inside my Sega Saturn, which then perpetually makes it last forever.
Wait, it's called a Sega Saturn?
Yeah. It's
so cool. I didn't even know about a Sega Saturn.
Most people didn't.
I did.
Yeah.
That's just because you're a gamer.
So it's interesting as a retro gamer and a new system gamer too, and seeing the technology advances that people are having with these systems. It really is. So, we have stuff like, I'll show you here. This is a memory card for the original PlayStation, but you have a space for an SD card. So instead of being limited to so many spaces on your memory card, you can now put an SD card into your, have unlimited saves, unlimited spaces. So game management is now easier to do, and you can keep one item here. So stuff like this is another way of preserving these old systems and these old games and these old saves. And I said, it's just amazing technology has come along just to help preserve this future that we are fighting of physical media going away.
That's awesome.
I like that. Can I have an addition to that?
Oh, one more thing.
Okay.
One more thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And then even I have my original N64 controller that I bought in 1996. And these things, especially with Mario Party, wear down. They are now making replacement controllers for the N64 that are the same controllers that are in the PlayStation 5 controller. And it's just plug and play.
That's
so
awesome.
That's just a way to further technology to replace stuff that is old, antiquated, and make it last even longer.
That's cool.
So that was my digs. So yes, that's
so he appeared on our channel a little while ago, but you guys, some of you might know who Jesse Cox is. JESSECOX. He's a YouTuber, and he actually, before he did YouTube full time, he was a history teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And he can so he was recognizing a while back about physical stuff is going out, and he thought it was it's important to preserve the history of all of the physical stuff. And so he does like to reiterate about how important that is every time. And so I thought that was that thinking, having your nerd out on preserving that made me think about what he said too. and out. And so it is very important because the nostalgia feeling I had 15 years ago, going to GameStop with friends and perusing for like 2 hours, just kind of checking out stuff. And then now that whole era is gone, in the sense that there's no physical media happening. And I mean, it's it's part of the progression, I think, of technology. But then you have the "do you really own it"
right
feeling. So anyway, so I agree with you on your nerd out.
I was going to ask because, like, I guess I'm the novice when it comes to all of this, and which I find extremely ironic because, you know, my son would say, and his friends thought I was the cool mom because I played video games, but apparently I know nothing. So I am also Jon Snow. I just, to me, I'm like, okay, I absolutely understand that. I feel that because, like, the systems that I started on the first Atari system. Actually, I played games before that on the computer when the computer was just one whole thing. You couldn't get the monitor by itself. And so I played that, you died of dysentery, whatever that game was.
Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail. Yes. Oregon Trail. I played that. So, I have played games for a long time. It's just, I'm not as into that side of it. So I found that extremely interesting because I do think we should preserve these older systems. It is an important part. The way I really feel like what we lose in history in general is understanding the older generations as far as that goes. Like, those are older generations. Those are the great-grandfathers, the great-grandmothers of what we're doing now. Without the physical media, we wouldn't have gotten to the digital media. And so preserving that, having people that do preserve that, I think that's really interesting. And so I'm totally on board for that. It's definitely nerd positive. So, I love nerd positive. But I think it's great. And I applaud you for that. So, and I really wish more people did it. I'd love to see more stuff on that. So, yeah, good for you. Go for it.
Thank you. No,
Be the retro visionary that you are, Graveyard.
Yeah, to me, it's just, we lost so many TV shows, we lost so many movies because we viewed it once and we just overwrote it and we never saw it again. And considering we knew this happened, we are doing the same thing this time on purpose of making sure that we can never play games ever again, which is absurd. We should not knowingly destroy stuff. We are purposely losing history. And that's terrifying because you can always go into what if the server goes away? It will eventually. You can no longer play this online game. It's gone forever. So there is, history museums, there is preservation of video games where, a lot of people, crap on emulation, but if that's a way to keep a game alive and playable, I'm okay with it. Especially when you get to this older stuff. Should you be doing it on the PlayStation 5 right now? No, but what about in 10, 15 years? Why shouldn't I be able to mod or hack my PlayStation 5 so I can always continue to play games that point of history?
I do think now, with the onset of back compatibility and things like that, I think that was a good first step, but it was you could only go back so far.
Right.
So taking it one step further and updating the gaming system I think that's the next logical step. I don't think the companies will do it because it's not cost effective.
No.
But if you have people out there that are willing to do it, hey, you get remember those old TV repair guys that basically went out of business? Teach them how to do it. Suddenly they have a second career now. And and I say that because there's one in Broken Arrow. And I go by it all the time and I'm like, that poor guy. That's all I can think is that poor guy. So I just feel like, yes, we are in such a good technological age and we've gotten so many things that have progressed because of it, but we are losing a lot of that, that
history,
original technology. aspect of
Mhm.
it. And I think that that's important too. It's just like, it would be like if we say, just stop teaching history in schools or something. I mean, that would be horrible. So why would we want to do that to our gaming,
Right.
our gamers, our gaming? So,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and part of it too is I'm working on updating the video systems in these systems too, so I can stop using coax and use it with newer TVs as they come out. So it's just another way to preserve the originality of the system, but play it in its perfect form as possible.
Yeah, I prefer, instead of HDMI cables and stuff like that to do to monitors, I actually prefer the red, blue, green, the RGBs, because I thought that they gave a better picture. Now you can't really do that anymore because most TVs don't have that. But I just thought that it was great. So, the river. Oh, thanks, Chuck. Yeah, I know I said it wrong. It was River Wild.
Yes.
But thank you for saying The River, because that actually also was a really good movie, but not the one I was thinking of. All right. I think we've done this enough today, y'all.
Yes.
We got stuff to do. It's still early.
Where can we find you, Fray?
You can find me at Fray Comics pretty much anywhere on social media, or at Fray Girl. If you can't find at Fray Comics, Fray Girl. I have my own channel called Fray Girl, and I've got me and Shadu are doing Classified. Doctor Who was the most recent one of that. So if you guys want to know which Dungeons and Dragons classes that the 10th Doctor and his companions are in, that's the show for you. Also, we do a supplemental show called Journal of the Classes, which actually does tell about each class that we're talking about. So if you want to watch all of those first and then dig into the the classifieds, absolutely. We're on Fighter right now, and we had a lot of fun doing those. We did all 13 of those in one day. So by the end of it, we're real slap happy. So just keep watching it, and we're gonna do a whole, like, once they all come out, we're gonna do a big, like, marathon, and so, like, then you'll get to see us, like, start very sane and not so sane. So yeah, so there's that. I'm on Distance Nerding on Tuesdays. I do the download with them. I'm here on Saturdays. I'm always happy to be here on Saturdays. We have a blast here. But yeah, I also am on the Discord for Distance Nerding and Kyber Cave Productions. I've got a couple other Discords I'm in.
You're all over.
I'm everywhere. Distance Nerding starting next year. I'll be on a new show with them that will be recorded and edited. So, and we can thank Shadu for that because he will be editing them. He doesn't know that yet, so yay! And
surprise!
Did you fall and told him?
Yeah, and so it's going to be called Origin Stories. It won't just be me. I want everyone involved. So anyone from Kyber Cave or Distance Nerding that has a really cool story or some character that they've wanted to spout off about as far as an origin story about them. It can anything. One of them I'm actually going to talk about Captain Marvel and the naming and how Marvel got Captain Marvel and now we have Shazam. I'm going to talk about that because I think that's a really interesting origin story. It's not necessarily the origin of the character, but it is the origin of why the names are separate. And I thought that was neat. So stuff like that. That's what we'll be doing on there. And I'm really excited about it. It's going to start next year. And then on my channel, I'm going to have another one called Her Story by Fray Girl. It's going to be about all the women I love in pop culture, directors, writers, characters. The first one is obviously going to be on Wonder Woman. I think the second one's probably going to be on Buffy. The third one may be on Miss Marvel. I don't know yet, but that will be starting on my channel starting next year as well. So I've got a lot of stuff coming up.
Thank you, Metso.
Who? Hi, I'm Metso. I work here at Kyber Cave. I'm going to use this moment for my shout out to petition for a new segment.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, we don't
Um,
have any games. We're not really doing any.
Yeah,
games.
so
We
that
can
could
do Mad Libs,
do
yes!
Mad Libs. It's completely empty. I haven't used it at all.
Let's
So,
do it.
Yay.
all right, so we can start that next week. And if for whatever reason there's a Saturday I can't make it, I can send a picture of like the next one to Graveyard or something to do. But anyway, so you can start Star Wars Mad Libs, open up the show that way. But you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Instagram, and you can find me on Twitch. I am on my own Twitch channel Tuesdays and Fridays from 10 to 12 Pacific time. And you can find me here. I'm on the show 3 to 4 days a week, just depending on Sunday nights, yes, Wednesday mornings, yes, Thursday nights I won't always be able to be on, and then Saturday mornings I'm usually on. So that's what I'm usually on for KCP, and then Tuesday, Fridays are on my channel. Yeah.
Mezzo is busy.
Is and I am Graveyard. You can find me at the Mostly Pod Out at Night, mostly found on ComicConRadio.com. You can see articles written by me and my co-host Salem in Spoiler Magazine. So make sure to check that out. I'm having a blast writing those articles. And also check out Conversations of the Void. I am having such
Yes, he does.
And I'm having an absolute blast Conversations in the Void. As everyone's been saying, even the guests, it's too short. So make sure to check it out. And might extend that to an hour long just because it is a phenomenal show. I mean, awesome people. And you can find me over here at Kyber Cave 2 to 3 days a week. Retro gaming, beer in a chair, Saturday morning nerd out, and wherever else needed, sometimes filling in on Sundays for Mezzo and Saber Rattle. And then you can find me harassing Phil on Mondays in the chat while he games on Twitch. You can find me as a mod for Mezzo's Twitch as well while she's gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find me on Thursdays doing the build with Young Phil and everyone else discerning, and I'm doing all the brackets all the time.
Oh my.
So yes, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe this video. Share it out because the more subscribers we get, the more chances you have to win a free lightsaber. We give one away every 100 subscribers. We are approaching we're within 70.
We're at 1541 is what we were at.
All right, so 59 away. So make sure to check that out. Also, if you want to help support our show, you can join our Patreon just for a little $1 a month. You can get free swag from us, and the higher tier you have, the better swag you can get. Also, if you want to support your favorite show, go to kcpmerch.com and get shirts like this here, Kyber Cave. Make sure to check it out. And go buy a lightsaber. We have, yes. Go to kybercave.com and get yourself a lightsaber, and then go to saberfont.com/ForsFX and get a sound font from the one only Force FX. So yes.
I went to hit Force's link and I accidentally hit my own Twitter again, so ignore that.
Okay.
Because his Saber font is right above my Twitter one. And I went to hit his Saber font. Oops. And then don't forget to check out our wonderful Captain Lady Moon Aubrey's Spotify.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, until next time, we'll see you tomorrow night for Saber Rattle.
See you jolly soon.
Bye.
See you jolly soon.